Mick Mulvaney, NewsNation political analyst and former acting White House chief of staff under former President Trump, is with me right now. So, Mick, does this vindicate your former boss?
To a great extent, it does. The long and the short of it is there should not have been an investigation. There was no hard evidence of collusion. Yes, there have been no criminal charges. There have been no real serious situation where people actually went to jail over it. But it looks like most of the stuff against Donald Trump in 2016 was wrong and should not have gone forward. And Trump will absolutely use that to his advantage.
Now, I know that Special Counsel Durham says that neither U.S. law enforcement nor the intelligence community appears to have possessed any actual evidence of collusion. What will Durham's findings mean for Mr. Trump's 2024 presidential campaign, do you think?
It's going to allow Trump to say, look, that was a witch hunt. The first impeachment was a witch hunt. The thing that's going on in Manhattan now, it's all a witch hunt. Everything against me is political. And you have to give him credit at a certain level, because what Durham has just said is that, yes, the first investigation in 2016, what they called Crossfire Hurricane, was politically motivated. It's one of the differences between what Durham put out today and what the Inspector General put out about a year ago. He said this was politically motivated by folks inside the FBI who had an animus against Mr. Trump. And Donald Trump will be able to use that and say, look, they did it to me last time. They're doing it to me again. So to a certain extent, it will undermine any sort of credibility to the ongoing investigations.
Would you say that perception is reality for voters? Because, of course, there are going to be some, mostly Trump supporters and Republicans, who agree with everything that Durham has said. But Democrats, a lot of them, are going to disagree and say, you know what, we already knew everything that Durham put out.
That's right. And that's sort of like how you perceive this may depend in large part about how you perceive Donald Trump. If you don't like Donald Trump, you look at this report and say, well, it's pretty much the same as the Inspector General. There's no new criminal charges, and there's no real sort of proposed changes in the way the FBI does business going forward. So, as is so often the case, maybe even the report itself will be politicized to where how you vote depends on how you look at it.
You know, I was looking at what the FBI's response to this is. They're blaming prior leadership. They're saying there were missteps made in 2016 and 2017. They wrote that to Congress and said, had the reforms that have been made more recently been in place in 2016, the missteps identified in the Durham report could have been prevented. What damage has the FBI incurred as a result of those missteps?
Here's the damage as I see it as a citizen. Put aside my government service work. Just as an ordinary citizen, what should ordinary people pay attention to in this entire sort of history of Crossfire Hurricane? The United States government spied on a political candidate during a campaign. That should bother all of us. I think that's what this hearing is going to be about this next week in the House Judiciary Committee. Yes, you're going to get some folks politically showboating on both sides. That's true. But really what ordinary folks should care about is it right that the government has been weaponized, or at least was in this particular circumstance, to go after a political candidate from another party? Keep in mind, this investigation started under the Obama administration when Donald Trump was running for president in 2015 and 2016. That's what I think is the important thing for ordinary folks to care about.
And should they care what happened back in 2016 as it relates to how differently Durham is saying the Clinton campaign was approached by the FBI and those investigations there?
Yeah, what he said was there's two standards. There was one standard applied to whether or not and how they were going to investigate Hillary Clinton, and whether or not and how they were going to investigate Donald Trump. And you got to hope that at the end of the day, the government, which is what the FBI is, there's nothing more government than the FBI, treats all citizens the same. And that did not happen here. And I think that is the takeaway from both the Durham report and the the Inspector General's report, and hopefully will be the focus of the hearings in the coming weeks.
And House Republicans have, of course, been very critical of the FBI stepping up their scrutiny and want Durham to testify now. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan is calling on him to do that. Thank you, Mick, for being with us as always. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Adrienne.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.